Shells and bone, one and the same. Many useful tools you can make out of a shell. Broken shards of glass, cutting tools. Okay, I'm sitting here by a pool of water in this creek. Pretty deep, I'd say maybe 1.5 feet. Plenty of minnows. Some fish in there, swimming around. Decent size. Definitely a good meal. Now this pool where the fish can swim starts right there. As you can see, it runs over rocks, so they can't swim up there. And ends right over there where it's dammed up, and then there's a little bit of a trickle, much like the section I just showed you. So these fish are locked in here. They're going to be there. Now, this is one thing you can't take for granted. This is a form of food source. But unlike what most people will probably think, these fish were not born here. They did not live here their whole lives. And they probably won't spend the rest of their lives here. Reason being, you can see this creek bed is pretty big. Whenever it rains, whenever it storms, it floods. Which means the next time it rains, those fish, which is probably about maybe, I'd guess 50, they're going to be gone, way down there. There may be more fish from upstream when the river floods. It comes down here, and then it recedes. So there might be more fish stopped and caught in there. But might be 1, might be 2, might be 200, might be none. Whenever you come across a food source like this in a survival situation, you have to be opportunistic. You gotta remember, you're a hunter-gatherer. You take as you see it. When you see a food source like this in this river, you don't know. Tomorrow, it might rain, flood all these fish out, and you might not have any other food source in your area. So when you see an opportunity to eat, do not pass up on it. Make it happen. Because who knows if these 80 fish, which will definitely fill my stomach, are going to be here tomorrow. And tomorrow I might starve. Okay, something like this is a telltale sign that something's been killed, died, or is being eaten. See any sparse patches of skin, flesh, fur, whatever, you want to be on the lookout. There could be a couple possible things that you can get. One, it's a fresh kill, or if it was a kill that was done during frozen temperature, you have the meat source that you have available. If you can't eat the meat, but it's still fresh enough, you got the hide, you got the skin. If it's decomposing, or just too bad, then you have tools that you can make in the future. Or if it's being eaten by something, you have possibly the opportunity to take another animal as a meat source. So whenever you see telltale signs that something went down, start looking. Okay, obviously not a good meat source, but still many uses. If it was fresh and wasn't so decayed, you could skin it and use the hide. If you let it decay anymore, you can get the bones and make many tools. You can even take the front legs off, cut the meat and the skin off to get the sinews out of the legs to make great cordage. You can also use the meat to bait traps and to attract other little critters. So you can procure yourself a good meat source. It's still something you just don't want to pass by. If you can stomach the stench, if you're in a real survival experience, you probably will want to stomach the stench to be able to gain yourself some useful tools. Definitely not something to pass up. Some areas might be short of tinder materials, but anywhere where there's moving water, whenever it storms, builds up all this stuff. matted up grass. This is a little wet, not a little green yet, but most of it's dry, real fluffy, very, very, very fibrous. If you were to set out in the sun for a while, or cut some of the dry portions off, keep it in your pocket, let it dry out, it'd be a great tinder material. You can see there's clumped up grass all over this, where when it rains, water gets real high and brushes all the dry grass down here. So, it's already put together in a nest. Cut yourself off a lump, light it up, and you're good to go. Something found on the ground. No, I'm not a geologist. I'm a genius. Don't know too much about rocks, but this is some sort of sandstone or some kind of paint rock. Native Americans used to use paint rock. It's a type of sandstone, almost like a talcum rock, where it's very powdery. There's all different colors. Red. This is white. Very noticeable. Very noticeable rock. White. Almost like chalk. Finding stuff like this you want to pick up. Not only are you trying to find your way out and find help, you need to let help find you. If you're walking through an area where you know there's a trail, you did run across a trail, but you want to keep on going, you don't know how often that trail's used. It might get used 10 minutes after you pass by. It might get used a day after you pass by. Maybe even a week. But you want to find big rocks. Something prominent. I don't have any big prominent rocks right here. I'm in this really thick vegetation, but you got an open area with a big huge rock. It might be seen by somebody walking by, driving by, maybe even flying by. You got something to get up on that rock to make a symbol. An arrow generally means you're heading in that direction. If someone runs across this, they know that somebody went that direction, and wants people to know. You could write a message, help, whatever. Put your name on it. I'm writing sloppy, but it's just to get the point across. Write your name on it. People are looking for you because you're missing. They might have given up if it's been a month, 2 months. But to see something like this, it regains hope in that search, and it might relaunch that search. It'll let people back home know that, hey, you are out there. And for some period of time, you were alive, and you were moving. Keep that in mind when you find stuff like this. You want help? You need to let help get you. Animals are just like humans. They get pretty used to doing the same pattern. They like to feel safe and secure. So when it comes time to either crossing an open space, like a creek, or drinking, they like to find a place that is safe and secure to them. An area like this, soft ground, when the inside bend of a creek, the ground's all soft, you'll tend to find a lot of animal tracks. They can signify that this is where they're coming to feed. These tracks all come down right along this water, right in this soft bend, right in here, and head back up there. They bed down up there. When they're thirsty, they come down here to drink. It's food procurement. It's knowing the pattern of the animals, being able to understand it, being able to follow it, and know where to go to find those animals. Nice little open clearing crossing this water right here. Going up over here. Well, looks like a trail, like a bunch of people have been walking through here. But this isn't people. This is deer. Like I said before, they like to keep to their own path, their own routine, where they feel safe. Not only is this a path for deer, it's also an excellent opportunity to make a trap, set out and prepare to hunt, to procure some food. The things you want to look at. Every day I walk past this. I walk around, but every day there's fresh deer tracks in there. Pay attention to the signs of animal travel and the routine. They're just like humans. They get set in their ways and continue to do things over and over and over again the same way. Cordage is very important. Even a short amount of cordage can be sliced and produced into longer cordage. Definitely don't want to give up any amount of cordage in the wild. It's very valuable, and it can save you a lot of heartache. I'm along a little creek bed with plenty of pools with lots of minnows in it. All the time along waterways, one thing you'll find is fishing gear. Got a little fishing net, a handle on it. So always fashion a bigger pole, put it on that net, and do me some minnow fishing for a meal. Keeping clean and hygienic is a very important thing in survival. Not too many people touch on it, but even if you're only in a survival experience for a couple weeks, maybe a month, even shorter, you might not think hygiene is an important thing, and you might not feel no immediate effects for having bad hygiene, but there's all kinds of funguses, parasites, bacteria, diseases out there that can take months, sometimes years, to even completely become prevalent in your body. So a year from that 2-week-long trip that you got lost in the woods, you find out that you got some kind of infection or parasite, you're going to pay for it for not being hygienic. Area like this, great for washing clothes, even without detergent. Just getting them in the water, rinsing them off, beating them on the rocks, rinsing them off again, beating them a few times, laying them out on the rocks in the sun, let them air dry, let them get sun, let that bacteria die off in the sun, in the fresh air. Stay hygienic. Well, I'm not a drinker, but pretty sure anybody who is would have loved to come across this. October 2010.